Hey everybody, welcome back to part 2 of house number 5, I think is what number we are on. So in the first part we got this far on the house, which it doesn't look like much yet because we don't have a roof or anything like that. But once the roof is added, you will see a little bit more character involved in the house. So we're going to start over here on the right side of this house where we left off last part. So basically all we're going to do is we're going to start extruding it out probably like 6 more blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And what we're going to do is just make this into a full solid wall. So just stack it up with our sandstone. Again, if you don't know what the main materials of this house are, they are sandstone, sand, and acacia wood basically is the main materials for this house. So what we're going to do now is turn it back. And we're actually going to have it to where it's going to turn at the exact same point where we made it turn in the first place. So right here. So right there should be good. So let's turn it again. So now we are going to have a couple more windows on this side. So here on the corner, we want it to be 2 wide, just like what we did a lot in the front. We want to have a layer of 2 things of sand here for our window, and then stack it up again, just like this. And then we just finish it off with sand connecting the 2 together. We want 2 wide on the corners again, just like that. And now we are actually going to turn it again, and now we are starting on the backside of this house, which the backside will get pretty complicated. I'm just going to extend this out to about where the front door is for this house, and you'll see why. So what we're going to do is, again, 2 wide on the windows. You're going to see a big theme of that throughout this house. You want 1 layer of sand. This window is only going to be 1 wide, then a pillar in between connecting the 2 pieces together. Then we want a 2 wide window, so boop boop, 2 things of sand. Again, stack it up with a pillar in between. And then another 1 wide window connecting this one here. So again, I know this seems kind of weird and like, why would you be doing that? But this will add some character and it's kind of some uniqueness to this house. So boop, we just add in those there. Now we want to make this 2 wide. So just kind of stack that up on the corner. Again, like we said, you're going to see that kind of design throughout this entire house. Now from here, we actually just want to extend it out about 5 more blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And all you're going to do now from here is just kind of stack it up, make this into a full solid wall, and you should be set. So I'm just going to go over that one more time. So after this last window, you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things of sandstone. So now what we want to do is we're actually perfect because we should be even with this right here, which is where we want to be. So what we can do now is extend this out. We want to extend it out 2 blocks. So 1, 2, stack it all the way up to the same height as your top floor. Just like that. Now we're going to take out some bricks here. And the reason for that is we're going to have a fireplace. We want the fireplace to be 3 wide. So 1, 2, 3. And we want to stack this up a little bit higher than the actual wall itself because fireplaces do extend up past the actual house and the roof. So that's going to be our fireplace. Now come diagonal again back even to where the original wall was and stack this one all the way up as well. Now this one is actually going to be 3 wide. So we're going to have a 3 wide window here. So stack it up to the perfect height. There we go. So now we are going to turn it again towards the right here. I know, it seems like really complicated because it kind of is, but it also kind of isn't. It's just one of those weird things. So again, 2 wide on the corners like always, on this house at least. Now we want to come over with our sand pretty far. I'm going to guess maybe around 5 to 6, or that's actually a lot more than 5 to 6. Probably maybe 10 to 13 blocks. Okay, so we have 2 wide on the corner here. We want to make a window that's going to be 2 wide. So boop boop with our sand, of course. Have a pillar and then another 2 layers of sand. And then we want to have 2 layers of sandstone on top of that. Or next to that, And just make that into a solid wall. Now these windows you can stack all the way up. Just like this. Now we are going to do the same design. So basically 3 tall is how tall the window should be. 2 layers of sandstone with sand on top. And then just kind of finish it off again with some more sandstone connecting everything. Now after this is all said and done, we might go back and do some touch-ups on the actual house that might make the features of the house stand out a little bit more. But we will get to that in a little bit, but just not quite yet. So basically we want to keep extending this out. So we should have 2 wide here. I want to add a back door right here. Now this back door is only going to be 1 wide, so just kind of stack it up 3 blocks just like that, nice and simple. Now here's actually where things are going to get a little bit more interesting with design a little bit, because what you're actually going to do is you're going to have it extend out 1 block up here even with this layer of sandstone, and then have it just come over probably around, it looks like maybe 10 blocks, okay? Now we want to stack this up on the corner, again, 2 wide on the corners. Excuse me. Ugh, I had a little burp there. So I know this looks a little bit weird, but a lot of houses do have stuff like this. My words just kind of messed up there. So we're looking pretty good. Now we want to make this actually 3 wide on the corners, not just 2. We want to have a layer of sand, just 1 layer. So boop, and then come 1 block away, add another one, and then just make a pillar in between. Just kind of stack them up on both sides. Just like that. Perfect. Again, I know it looks kind of weird. I'll be the first one to admit it, and we're just gonna keep going with the design though. Now underneath that part that we just added, I want to make this 3 wide after the door, so it should be 3 wide right here. Okay. Then we want to add some more windows. These windows are gonna be 1 wide again, and we're actually looking pretty good. Now do we want to make them even? Let's try to make the windows even with each other. So let's do that. So we're going to make these windows even with each other. So just move them over by 1 block, and you should be set on that. And then just like usual, just kind of finish up how the windows have been on this entire house. My words are just like, I'm losing my words. Okay, so there's that. Now after we have this 1 block on this side down below, we actually want to make this 2 wide. And then we're going to turn it back away from the house actually. And we're actually going to have it come out, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blocks, okay? Now we're going to have a pretty big window here because this will lead out to a deck. So what we actually want to do is 1 wide on the corner there. And we want to stack it up to actually the same height as the first floor, not the entire second floor. So just kind of keep that in mind. We're going to have it come across just like this. Now let's add the 3 wide window right here on this side. Just 1, 2, 3. Stack it up. And same design with our dark oak wood fences in the middle on odd number windows. And then our sandstone goes on top of it, just like this. Now we actually want to make this and keep this a 2 wide window, or door, excuse me, because I think that will be perfect for how everything will turn out. Now we want to turn it again, 2 wide on the windows, of course. And then we want to add in some more windows. And we're going to kind of go off the same design as the one over here. So basically what that means is all you're going to do is have 1 thing of sand, come 1 block away with a pillar. And then you're going to have 2 things of sand, 1, 2, stack it up again. And then 1 more thing of sand, and then 2 wide on the corners again. And now we can kind of turn it back to about where we started this extrusion out from the house. Now we're not going to have any windows on this side. We're just going to make this into a full solid wall. Actually, we might add some windows in here because it is kind of a sunroom. So let's add some more windows on that side. Just like this. So let's add a 3 wide window right here. Just kind of stack it up. Again. And actually, let's try making it 1 block away. And let's see how many windows we can fit in here. 1, 2, 3. We might just stick with 2 wide windows instead, because that might work a little bit better with the space that we have. So yeah, let's go with and stick with 2 wide windows, just like this. And to make a pillar, another 2 wide, and there we go. That solves all that problem. So that solves all of that. So we're so close to being finished with the connection of the house. We're kind of close. And we're actually running pretty good on time too. So what we're going to do now is we want to actually have this come back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks. And then have it turn and actually come even with where the garage ends. And then just have it connect. That's simple. So boom. So the garage here, we're not going to add any windows on it yet. If we want to in the future, we easily can. But for now, we're just going to turn it into a solid wall. So just kind of stack it up, and basically for the rest of this area, actually let's have it come out 1, 2, 3 blocks and then have it come across. That way the sunroom doesn't actually extend. It just adds a little bit more space to the house as well. And then from here, we can actually just stack this up. We can add in another window here, and this will be separate from the sunroom. So just kind of connecting everything together. So we'll have a 3-wide window here, which works out perfectly, which is what we want. So we want our sand, with our dark oak wood fences here in the center, with our sandstone on top connecting everything. And then we can just continue with our sandstone all the way across and on top of everything. Oh, I have the hiccups. I'm not sure why. And voila, so the house is connected. As you can tell, it's a pretty big house. It actually takes up an entire yard from all the way over there, but I think it will definitely be worth it when we're done. Now, for the actual garage area, I want to extend it out maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 blocks, and then we can have it just come over and stop and connect everything. So as you can tell, it's a pretty big garage area. But I think we can make it work when we're all done on the inside. So we still have a lot of work to do on this house. It's almost the size of a mansion, really, by just how big it is in general. So I think next part we will get working on that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that we want to do. One thing we could do is with this piece right here, this window in front, we actually want to have it come back 2 blocks. So 1, 2, kind of stack it up, and then have it come over to the same place as this, what would you call this? This wall over here, and just have it come back and connect. We can even just have that extend out 1 more block, not a problem. And basically all we can do here is just kind of make this into a solid wall. Now the roof for this house will take a while for obvious reasons, because it is a very big house. Because that's almost on the scale of a mansion, really. And it might not have the same design as some of my other mansions, but it is kind of close with like the scale of things and how much space we will have. So I also did mention a little bit earlier, we might go back and kind of edit some small things for aesthetic purposes. Now, one of the things I do kind of want to do is take out some quartz stairs, and above all of the windows that we have, replace the sandstone and add in the stairs. And I love doing this design because it adds some extra depth into the house, but also adding a different color onto the house as well as a color of white really adds some more character to it and some eye-catchiness as well. So basically just go around to every single window and just replace it with some upside down stairs. All the windows should be 3 tall basically, and the sandstone, or excuse me, the quartz stairs should be on the 4th block. And also, one thing we will do after this, once we're done with all the windows, is we're also going to go in and add some buttons onto all of the pieces of sand. Now that might seem kind of weird, I know, but there actually is a purpose to it, and like most things, it is for aesthetic purposes. There we go. That one was actually pretty easy. I didn't put those sandstone blocks there. And kind of finish that one off. And so we're looking pretty good. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that we want to do. I think we forgot a couple windows up here that we didn't do with the thing. Just like that. Make sure we get these up here as well. Okay, so take out some stone buttons, which are right here. And basically on every block of sand, just add the buttons. So really simple. It should be basically on every single window. You should have sand at least if you made it correctly and just like how I made it. And basically, like we said, just add in add buttons onto every piece of sand. And just adding this small feature really does add a little bit more detail, and it's kind of surprising how much detail this does have and makes a difference. So hopefully you will kind of use this design a little bit more on some of your other houses if you try to make your own. So and I think we're finished on all the windows besides these 2 that I just saw. And okay. So, next part, we will get started on the roof. We have a lot of work to do still when it comes to that roof. So, I will see you guys next part. So, thank you very much for watching. Also, real quick, just off camera, you can just kind of make this into a full solid wall. It should connect evenly and perfectly with this wall over here. So, Bye bye, guys. Thank you very much for watching. It is greatly appreciated as always. So bye bye.